In this video, I'll be taking you through the written records that students need to keep for the practical endorsement. These minimum requirements were communicated in a letter to centres at the beginning of June 2015 and are to be included in the JCQ instructions for conducting non-exam assessment. If you haven't seen the letter to centres, it's available from the OCR website. The student records will need to be available for review when you receive a monitoring visit. The student record should show agreement with the records kept by the centre. But the student record is also an important part of students' own skills development. Being able to keep records is one of the assessment criteria. Students must keep individual records, noting the dates on which they performed each activity and any evidence appropriate to the activity. For some activities, this may just involve a results table with some measurements or observations, perhaps followed by some analysis. But if students have made decisions about how to approach an activity, for example the method to follow or the apparatus to use, their record should show what they have actually done. Similarly, if students have performed research to find information relevant to their practical work, this should also be recorded. Ofqual have not prescribed a specific format for the student record. It may be kept in a single volume, such as a formal lab book or an exercise book. It may be a collection of pages kept in a binder or a folder. It may be electronically stored, or it could be a combination of any of these. We at OCR would encourage you to adopt whatever works best within your centre. It is important that students record their practical experiences in their own ways. They should learn appropriate ways of writing down scientific information and in time be able to make their own decisions about what to record and how. OCR are not producing exemplars or templates for the student records. However, our provided activities do suggest to students what information to include in their records. Teachers have asked us if they are only using some of the practical activities they carry out to assess the practical endorsement. Should students keep records for those activities separately from any other practical work? We'd advise against that and encourage that students keep an ongoing record of all their practical work. This will be very useful when they come to revise for their written examinations. Remember, a minimum of 15% of marks at AS and A-level will now be for the assessment of practical skills. Plus, within the practical endorsement, students can demonstrate competencies in any practical activity undertaken, not just those that you may have identified as assessment opportunities in advance. Another question we've been asked is whether students should redraft their work. The answer is no, the student record should be contemporaneous. They should make their records as they are doing the work. It doesn't have to be neat, and they don't have to get it perfect first time. Neither are students required to write up their results into full lab reports, although you might feel it's valuable for their skills development to ask them to do so on occasion. We've also been asked whether student records need to be kept secure. No, the practical endorsement is not coursework. Students are free to take their practical record home or keep it on a shelf in the classroom. If a student loses their record, this will only disadvantage the student in terms of their learning or revision. As long as you have your teacher records for that student up until that time, the student will just need to start a new record, and you should not need to repeat skills that you felt they were already competent in. If you have any further questions about the student records for the practical endorsement, or any other aspects of the new qualifications, do drop us a line.